Mark, yes.
Yes, now you're recording.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, so now I want to check in with the route administration to make sure, to show you how to change the route so that it will now be able to be tracking. So I'm going to go administration, and I'm going to go to route administration, and I'm going to go to maintain, okay? So I can choose any of these routes just for, purposes. I'm going to choose any route here, and I'm going to select a route. And you're going to see here, this is a North Mega route, and you can see already here that I already made it O2. To change a route type, you would change your route type here, and you would be able to do a drop down. And it was already route O2, so I'm going to hit cancel here. I'll choose a different route. I'll go a little further down for one I hadn't done already. So I'm going to select a route, and you're going to see that this route for NM 152424 is a delivery route, meaning that it's not a TMC route. It's not one that we're actually tracking. Right now, we're only having if I do a change route type, I have a route type or delivery route, and we have TMC route, and we have a company route. We're in the process of adding another one that will allow you to have tracking that won't be considered a TMC route. So basically, if you have a route that you just want to track, that's not one that's total market coverage, we will have another option for that as well. But in the interim, the O2 TMC route, that is the one you want to choose if you want to be able to track it. Now, it's not going to change anything else about the route itself. It's just going to allow you to track the route. So I'm going to hit update route classification. And now this route will now have route classification of 02. Now, the routes that have route classification 02 will appear under plant operations, under tracking, under today's tracking status. Okay, so you're going to say here, I already did some. Now, because I just added that one, it's not there. We have to run a procedure to make sure they're updated, and that's run at night. So that one that I just added is not going to be there, but I had already run a few in advance. You'll see here the ones that I had already run, and you can see this is where I went to plant operations tracking, today's tracking status, and on plant 9121, you can see if I want to look for a particular route, I can choose an individual route. I can see all of the routes at once that are set up. Okay, so I can see here. So I have 9121, and I apologize. I wanted to log into 9151 because I wanted to be close to you guys. And so I had also done one for 9151 as well. So I apologize, and nobody mentioned to me that I was in Dayton. Okay. So let's see.
That's okay. We're all about all
I was in 9152 is what I wanted to do.
We're all one big happy
So 9152. Now, yes, but one happy family, if you happen to want to go out and test the tracking, you don't want to do it in Dayton, you want to do it in Atlanta. I don't think you want to fly back to Dayton there, Mark. All right, so if I look here, you can see these test accounts that I've added already. So you can see here 9152, and you can see this particular route. It has a route number 302-14203. Right now I have it assigned to DSP name Julia Token. That's one of the ones we use during training. There's 196 locations. You can see right now there's 0 deliveries made. Now you can see here, you can highlight the deliveries not made. You can click here. It's going to give you a pop-up box. The pop-up box is going to say the deliveries not made for addresses for the route, okay? So you can see here the deliveries that are not made, and I can see here that these are the addresses here. Now, if you had more than one address, if you had more than one account at the same address, you'll notice, for instance, let's see if we have any. Hit close. You'll notice, let's see, looks like all of these only have one. If you had more than one, for instance, if you had an apartment building, you would actually have locations. It would count as one location, but it would count as multiple deliveries. So for instance, if you had an apartment building and you had 10 accounts that were going to that one apartment building, it would count as one location, but 10 deliveries. Does that make sense? Or actually, I apologize. I take that back. It's the total draw that would be updated. See the draw here, 199? That one would be updated. The so delivery is not made. I apologize. It's the delivery is not made and the draws. So this is the actual addresses, the draws of what is not made. Now, so you can see here. I'm sorry. Yes, so there's 3 of them there.
3 actually multiple units.
Right, and then you can see here, and you can see here, this in here, there's up to 10.
Okay.
Now, if you see here, none of them have been visited. Now, if you wanted to go out and you wanted to actually look at those, you would be able to, I could give you the user accounts that I had set up for here, and you would be able to go out and track and test this yourself as well. The duration.
I'm sorry. Should we ask questions
Oh,
during? Okay.
Absolutely.
So if by visited, I'm assuming that means a waypoint or a geofence or something.
And actually, it's actually more specific than that. So the way that the tracking works is it actually will go within, I think you can set the boundaries yourself. So you can set it depending on the type of area that you're in. So if you're in a rural area, you want to set it for a larger boundary to say, you want to be able to go to 100, 700, 100, 200 feet from the actual center of the address. Or if you're in the city.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. If you're in the city, you might not want to be as large. So if you have, if you're in a suburban area, you don't want to set it as large.
So it actually allows you to set the number of feet that you wanted to trigger the delivery made, correct?
Yes, and it goes by actual address itself, not by the waypoints. It goes by the actual address itself.
So what the coordinate?
So it's very specific.
But
so it's actually with a GPS coordinate. Yes.
So it's the coordinate that it takes. So if a coordinate is off somewhere, it may not trigger it, and we'll find that out by the tracking and things like that. Because sometimes you go into a rural area, the coordinate is not the exact address, and so it might show not triggered. But okay, all right, and then the footage. So
and then actually that will lead into the great question here. You can actually see on a map. You can click map it, and you'll be able to see the map of the actual coordinates here. So for instance, if you were wondering why East Road over here, you could click here and it would tell you 243 Eastern Road, Fayetteville, Georgia. If you're saying, well, maybe it shouldn't be that far over, maybe you had to look at that one. So you can actually now keep in mind, this is all what you have access to. This is not what the DSP portal has. The DSP portal will get to that one, but this is just looking at what you have access to.
Okay, great. And when you change that footage, wherever it is that you change it, it sticks with that address until you change it again. So you can have one that's 150 feet, one that's 400 feet.
So actually, I think the way it's set up right now, and I'll double check, but I think the way we have it set up, because we haven't found a need for it as of yet, I think it's set up on a plant level. But because of the fact that usually what will happen is you'll either have one in a suburban area or an urban area, or a rural area. You don't normally have one that crosses both. So I think that's the way we have it set up right now on the plant level. But I will double check that with Paul when he returns.
Okay. Also, one other question. I'm sorry, but you had mentioned earlier you need to change it to TMC route in order to enable the tracking. Did you say that there was going to be another selection there added?
There will be another selection, yes.
Okay.
There'll be another selection, so it's not maybe as confusing if you're not going to be using TMC. We have another client that actually already has another selection there. So there is a possibility if you're going to be using it and it's not TMC, that we can add another delivery type there if that's something that you're going to be using, if you're going to be doing tracking and not using it as a TMC.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
And what constitutes tracking? You're going within the specified distance to that long GPS, but is there also a speed threshold as well?
So that's a great question. So there is a speed threshold. So, and it's been so long since I've trained it, so I'm gonna, I wish I had gotten that. I had thought to get those questions prepared with those answers. I apologize, Erica. I don't have them off the top of my head. But you can set the speed threshold as well. So that is something that's set too. But as of right now, and I used to ask Paul this question every time we were on the phone to make sure, because he sets them. But from my understanding, as long as you're passing by, you pass by the address and you're going by the address, and it's in refresh every 5 seconds. So as long as you pass by within every 5 seconds, and you're going by that address, it will pick that one up.
Can you change that? Is that adjustable?
Yes.
To
Yes.
5, to 3, and okay.
But
And
again, it's on the plant level.
Okay, and that's on the plant level. Okay. And then also, I'm sorry, Eric, I jumped in. Go ahead. Did you have anything else?
Go ahead, Jerry.
On the, so I'm assuming that when we look at this, we'll be able to see the breadcrumbs from coordinate to coordinate and what they actually did, correct?
Yes. So here's the next, that leads me right into the next one. So if you hit the download button here, so you will actually be able to see this. Did you see it will pop up in Excel? Anytime it opens in Excel, you click on Excel, it's going to give you that little message that says, do you trust this site? You always say yes, it's just an Excel. So you're going to say yes. You click on yes. And then this will actually tell you that here's the addresses they delivered, and then there'll be a column here that says here's the ones that they didn't. So you'll actually be able to tell the ones that they've missed.
Does it give you the time on this report?
The time
that they were hit?
Give me 1 second. The time would be here. If there was time, the time is located on here, yes. Because it's not, because I don't have any here to look at, and I don't know how to pause. Let me just, is there an easy way to pause this for a second? Is there an easy way to pause the screen for 1 minute?
You mean pause the recording?
No,
yeah.
Just pause this screen for 1 minute. Right there, right? I just need to double check, and I don't want to be showing you it wouldn't be polite of me to show you everyone.
Yeah, you can undo the screen. Just unshare the screen and then come back in and reshare it again.
Let me just take a quick look. I'm just looking to see if, because today's Thursday and the location that's actually right near my house is actually tracking right now. So this particular plant that I'm looking at for you should actually have information on the screen. Should have actually information that you're talking about, so that it might be a little bit better for you to be able to see. I just didn't want to have, I just want to go through here. Let's see. 1 second. All right. I'm going to just resume the screen sharing. Okay, so to take a look at somebody who actually has information, I'm going to show you one that's in my general area, okay? So I'm going to click on one that has deliveries made, okay? And do you see the time that's right here? Mm-hmm. Actual delivery date, and it has the time right there, 10:23 a.m. on 9/27, okay? So once they make the deliveries, the time's actually there. If you want to change the page size, you change page size here. Now, this is just a quick box to look at. Obviously, I'd recommend you look at the download. If this person, you can see this person.
I'm just wondering why the seconds didn't change.
The seconds didn't change on here, the deliveries made?
What you just had up, yeah. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the seconds didn't change. When does that?
Because so this is within a minute. So I think that if you look here, that we're just going down to, so it's 10:35. So we're not going down to the seconds. We're just going down to the minute.
Okay.
So.
I'm just curious. I didn't see a change, and I'm just wondering why. And are they in order, like the one?
Are they in order of what time?
Yes.
No, they're actually in order of the address itself.
Address.
So if you so let's take a look. So this is more for reference. So you can take a look here. Now this person missed 38 accounts. So these are the 38 accounts they missed. So you would be able to go in and say, okay, you missed these 38 accounts. Now this goes to Erica's question, you know, how fast, you know, were they driving by these too fast? Meaning we didn't think they had time to go back and they'd have to go back and go, you know, buy them to complete them. This person had 1,352. If you notice, they only had 385 locations and they had 1,352 draw. So now I'm going to do the download here. You can see here, we clocked them at taking 59 minutes from the start to the finish. Now, sometimes it's possible that when we're looking, because again, today's Thursday, so they could be doing it right now as well. We could, while we're looking at one of these, they could be actually delivering them. So just keep that in mind when we're looking at this. So here's the columns that we were talking about. So here are the ones that did not deliver, okay? And here are the ones that did deliver. So you can take a look here so you can see. And so if you wanted to look, you can say, okay, well, he did, here's, so I can see here, 42 Antwerp Street in Brighton. So he was at 26, 28, 38. He did 40 at 10:35. And then he went to 50 at 10:56. Now, either his tracking was off or his phone was off, or maybe he just went a different way because he was right near it, but he didn't clock in for 42. Does that make sense? Could be that they were on the other side of, you know, the other side of the street, or, you know, there could be another reason. So the person would be able to go back and look and see. Now, when we get to the DSP portal, they can actually see the ones that they missed as well. So we'll go through that as well.
Well,
this
so
is
could
for
you scroll
you
down just a little bit?
at.
If you could scroll down just a little, 3 or 4 more rows. Keep going. I'm just wondering why 42, 44 were not triggered,
Right.
but 40 and 50 were.
And it could have been he was walking, could have been, again, this is Boston. Brighton is actually part of Boston. So there could have been something that was, you know, 42 and 44 could be on a totally different block area.
Well, what are they using for a device?
What is this person using for a device? That I have no idea. Okay. Everybody's using a smartphone for a device. So the smartphones, they all use the smartphones. And so I'm not sure if you were given the background of the smartphone. You would use a smartphone. They can use any Android, iPhone. Everything is supported. We do help with anyone who does have any issues with it. So we did have a recent issue with timing out with the new Android Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. We did work with the developers on that. That has been corrected, and a new app. And I think this may have, I don't think actually your group asked this, but we did put a new app out on the Google Play Store, and they're currently working on a new app for the iPhone, Apple Store. Okay, does that answer the question?
Yeah. Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So what will happen is, so now we take a look at this one. So then we have the map it here. I'll just leave this one up in the background, and I'll go back to ours that we were looking at. So you can see here, this is where you would go. So we saw how to go through. We saw how to look to see if a route is, if it's set up for tracking, and if it's not, how to change it, to change the route status. We then go into planned operations, tracking, today's tracking status. Now, it's very important that if you request to have several days of a product to be tracked. So for instance, we have it set up today for 9/28, which is today's date. Now, if you say, I need 4 or 5 days to be able to track this, then what will happen is you will need to go back to the original date that we ran the product itself. So does that make sense to everyone?
So by the delivery date, if we wanted to take a look at the 20th tracking, we'd have to change that to September 20th.
You got it. So to change the date, calendar right there, you can go back and you can change it right here. You could change it to the 20th date. You'll see it's nothing there just because I hadn't run anything. So we're looking at today's date for the 28th right now.
How often is this updated, from the device to the web portal?
It is actually real time. So that's a great question. All right. So let's take a look and see here. So sometimes what you can tell here, because what will happen here, in any column you see, just like any column you see that you can highlight, you can sort by. All right, so this person's at 99.58. Let me just take a quick look. They have one delivery not made. These people have one delivery not made, meaning they're probably done. Let's not look at them. I'm just trying to find someone that might be, it actually is updated real time. It will actually, what happens is it goes back, it feeds the database, and the database updates here. So it is actually very accurate. Okay. So you'll notice the times change on this one. I'm just trying to, if you notice, this is, they start, okay, so this person is at 47.06, and they're at 49 minutes. It's possible that they are delivering right now. So let me just take a look. So 10:13 this morning, let's see, 9:42. So they might be done for right now. Because this particular product actually allows them to deliver, and they have until tomorrow to deliver all their products. So let's see if somebody else, I was kind of hoping we get one that was in the middle of doing it. But they can, it actually will deliver, it will actually show you updated right through. So you saw on that one we had through today. So maybe we see one that's 11.64. Maybe this person's delivering right now. All right, so this one says, if you see here, this one is 12:27. It's right now. They are actually delivering out there, and you see the time 12:30 right there. That means that they're out there. This 5 Wendell Street in Cambridge is just being delivered just now. Okay. Does that answer the question? Jerry, you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, it's answering my question. Yes, it is.
Oh, perfect. All right. So you can see it's updated real time right there.
Yes. Yep.
All right. So any questions on the TDS side where you're going in, you're logging in, you're seeing how to set up the carrier? I mean, you already know that regular carrier setups are already done. So it would just be changing the route itself. Then you would go here, you would select the plant from your drop down if you have more than one plant. So if you had more than one plant here, right? If you have more than one plant, you'd select the plant that you want to look at. Then you would have the list of the routes. You'd select the delivery date, and then you'd be able to go through. Now you have the route numbers, the names. You could sort by the name itself. You have the locations you have here. The delivery's not made. You have the map it. The map it will show you what's been done. You can easily see the ones that have been done, have not been done. So any questions from the TDS side before we move on to what the DSPs are actually seeing?
No, none here.
No, I think.
Yeah, none here.
Okay, let's go with that. Okay, let's see. I'm going to log in. Now, if the people already have, if the DSPs already have a DSP portal account, they can actually just log in to the, mobile site. I just want to make sure that, you know, if people are familiar, they go in, they create the account. They have to, and if they do not have a DSP portal account as of right now, they need to make sure they create an account. And I might have blocked up my actual screen. Let me see. So you would actually go here and you would actually log in. And then from here, and I shouldn't have closed out all my tabs, confuse everyone. Let's see. If I can get the mobile site. So if you went, so the mobile site comes up. Let's see why this one's not coming up. So any questions before? So if I skip over the creating a DSP portal account, that's just when they go in, they use their DSP ID, they use a username, they create a username, a password, they use their DSP ID, they use the route, one of the route numbers that they have assigned to them. Let's see, show you. Log out of the one I had. in my cookie. So if they wanted to create an account, they would go here to create an account, the username, password, confirm password, DSP ID. They would need a route, email address, and then they would go in here. Okay, so you do already have one set up. I've already have one set up. I have multiple ones set up for you to see. So we'll take a look at one of the ones I have to see. Now, you want to log in through the mobile account. Okay, so for the mobile account, I'm going to log into this particular one that's in your area. So I think it's, wait a minute, is that the right one? I don't think so. Oh, no, it's token, I think. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, so let me just see. So they're going to get a screen that looks like this. All right, so then we have delivery. So you see here, delivery track. Delivery track is where you're going to want to, so you're going to click delivery track here. Now, there's going to be a pop-up message. It's extremely important. This is how it's going to work. The DSP needs to agree to this location to allow the location. If they do not agree to the location, we cannot track the coordinates. Okay, so this is where we're getting the coordinates. They agree to allowing us to know where the coordinates are. So I'm going to click allow, and then you're going to see a little target up here, and it says this page is tracking your location. That's how you know it's going to get to the locations. Now, I want to choose a route to begin. Now, this person has two routes. They have here 302.14.203, 302.69202. They can only choose one route at a time. So to toggle the switch here to turn on tracker, there's a little beep. Okay? So when there's a little beep, and then when I have the little beep, you can either use the X here to close that screen on the left, or if you wanted to just click on the green one, you can also do that as well. Now you can see here, this is actually showing my location where I'm at right now. In order to show the location of where the route is, I'm going to do show delivery status. Now it's going to find, and you're going to see I'm located way up here, and you can see these little yellow dots down here. You can see this little dot in Atlanta. I'm going to zoom in to Atlanta, okay? And I'm going to zoom in this area, all right? And now you're going to see this is the area that we're talking about here. So this is 302.14203. So if I want to go back to the screen and I want to see 302.14203. So if I did a map it here, you'll be able to see the same map on this screen as well. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to say, okay. So for instance, so maybe I zoomed in a little bit too much. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right. So this is the one we were looking at earlier. When you go here, I'm going to point at it, and I'm going to say, okay, so this is the 243 Eastern Road in Fayetteville, Georgia. Now, if it's yellow, it means it has not been delivered. If it's green, if it turns to green, that means it's been delivered. Okay. So you can see here. Now I'm gonna jump over to the one I was showing you in production. So where's the one I was showing you in production? I think it was here. All right. Let me just. Actually, can I do this? Okay. Let me just. So, did you any questions on that while I log into an account to show you how it looks in production for DSP Portal?
No.
No. No.
All right. So just let me show you this while it's loading up. So basically, what will happen is, if you provide us a do not deliver list, okay, and I think that's probably a Mike Sims question. If you provide us a do not deliver list, what will happen is, so for instance, if you were using it for TMC and you wanted a do not deliver list, we would actually be able to have the addresses listed there, and we would show them. We would show the addresses in red. All right, so we would actually show the addresses in red, and we have this feature. we have this feature that would allow us to, if you have the volume on your phone, would actually send a beeping noise, like a loud beeping noise, to alert you not to be able to do that, not to be able to.
Not to deliver there?
Thank you. I apologize. I'm trying to multitask. It's not working.
That's okay.
Apparently, I'm not as good at.
About
You're
that.
doing just fine. You're doing just fine.
We were
trying to do
thinking,
this. Go ahead.
we were thinking about trying to do that in another function. If we created a VIP list and downloaded it,
Yes.
could that feature actually be used for a VIP list where it would trigger an alarm and turn red to a customer that we want to make sure that they don't miss?
That would be something that you could work with Paul, but I'm sure the functionality, because it's already built, would not be difficult. But again, I don't like to answer for Paul, particularly when he's enjoying a nice vacation.
Okay.
That is a functionality. That is a functionality because, like I said, because as you can see, what we already have built, as you can see that we already have this, we already have things built. That,
Right.
You know, it's not a problem.
Okay.
So the alerts, any type of alert, I guess that same functionality would apply to anything. Then, if we, somehow you put you set up an area, a recycling company that people notoriously go there and dump TMC.
Correct. Yeah, that was actually brought up as a discussion point. Yes.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So that would probably, if the function is there, we can do it with that too. Call it a VIP or whatever you want to call it, and it would trigger an alert and let you know this person's parked there or went by.
Right, and that's exactly, or they went there.
Yeah, or they went
there.
That's
exactly what we're talking about.
Okay.
So that would be like the do not deliver. Yes.
Yeah, just different application.
And you'd have to track it. Right. And trust me, that beeping noise would scare. Trust me, when I'm doing the testing, because I do the testing while I drive around, that beeping noise it's definitely, you're not going to miss it. Trust me on that. Okay. So here we go here. So this is a real-time one. You can see here that we have, for instance, this red one right here is a do not deliver. You can see how bold it is. Do not deliver. 872 Massachusetts Ave, apartment 708. You can see that. But then you have right beside it, you have 872 apartment 301. So the person has to deliver the apartment. Now, if I wanted to say the do not deliver list, I show the do not deliver list, and it will give me a listing of all the do not delivers as well. Okay, I can scroll down through here. All right, that shows you the actual do not deliver list. And then you can see the green means it was delivered. So green means it's delivered. Yellow means it was missed. So to Erica's point, there is one that was missed right here in between. 15 Bigelow Street, apartment 6. Somehow that was missed. It's possible they were going too fast when they went by, and that we didn't think that they could hit that as they were going by that. So that was listed as one not being delivered. So they may have to go back to that one in order for it to count. And so we have here 8 Bigelow Street. They might not have continued on because the do not deliver is here. And then you can see here we have the green, the yellow, and you can see the do not delivers. And if you wanted to change the tracking, so for instance, if I wanted to see a different tracking route, now again, what you're seeing on your screen is a master account, but I have not one that would be available to you right now. If you wanted to see ones that you wanted to do from the DSP portal side, you would need to create the DSP portal accounts and have access to those DSP portal accounts. This is what the DSP portal is saying. This is what the DSP sees. You have access on this end, and you can see here. So you can see the same information here and say to them, why did you miss these? You have the tools here. You'll have the download. You can tell them from an Excel. I've worked with plenty of people who take the Excel download, and then they just take the ones that they do not deliver and say, you missed these addresses. Could you please go back to them? and they send them out to them. Or, you know, how did you miss this whole area? And they send it that way. So there's really, you know, people, you can use this today, this applied operations tracking, today's tracking status, extremely helpful. You really, this is a tool that you want to use, and you want to be able to do, you know, you find your information here. DSPs, they have the tool, they can go here and they can look and see what they have for addresses here. Okay, so I'm switching routes. So if I want to switch routes, I'm going to just switch routes here. I just turned on the tracker for a different area, and you can see here, maybe this route has not been done yet. You can see there's a lot of red for the do not delivers, and you can see these yellows that have not been delivered as of yet. Okay.
Is there a window for delivery, like a schedule you could put on the route, or is it just open? Because back to your earlier comment about a route that had 2 days for delivery.
Sure.
Can you say if something was delivered out of the delivery window?
So here's what it is here. So this particular product that we're looking at here, they gave us a time frame of what they wanted. They wanted to have the product run and effective and available for Tuesday, okay? Even though they don't really get the product into their location until Tuesday, okay? So that they'll have time to set it up. But there are people that were there early. They want to have the information early, and they give their people until Friday or Saturday to do it. So this tracking is available all the way through Saturday. So they have from Tuesday through Saturday to be able to do this. Okay, so they actually have all the way from Tuesday through Saturday, they have available to be able to do the tracking.
And if it's delivered as on Sunday, does it still show as red or does it show as green?
So if it's delivered on Sunday, well, see, that's the thing. They chose to have that. So if it's delivered on Sunday, they're actually taking their metrics from Saturday. So they don't care. If you deliver it on Sunday and they said it doesn't count if you deliver it on Sunday, there's actually a tool here for Izenda, what's called Izenda, that will allow you to, the Izenda tool will allow you to take a look at, and I don't think you have Izenda as of right now, and that's something I'll talk to Paul about, but the Izenda will calculate it, and it will only go through Saturday because that's what they set up. It will not take, it goes through a set date.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's not going to, but that's because, Erica, that's how they set it up. This is configurable about how you want to do it.
So it can be set up by time and not by date or day of the week itself. So if we wanted to track deliveries from 1:30 in the morning till 6:30 in the morning, could you set it up by time?
I don't think anyone's asked us about the time itself. I know we have all that information in the database. I know we show you this information here. I know the Izenda reports that are available. Let me just see if I can pull up an Izenda report for you to show you an example of an Izenda report that we're talking about. Oh, shoot, I might have logged out of what I was doing. So let me.
I mean, it's not a feature we may use or not use. I was just wondering if it was available.
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm not quite sure about that. So I know, let's see. Let me log out of this one. I'm just logging out of this account. Just bear with me, because not all accounts have access to Izenda. Izenda is a warehouse tool. Now, I know you're getting into the DSP comp and I think in all the other information. So this is just another tool that allows you to pull all the data that we have. So I think it's best that if I go and find that answer out, because I'm not an Izenda expert. I work with the actual application. So that's a great question though. So you're talking about an actual time frame for it, rather than actually doing the, okay, so So let's see. Yeah, let me take a look at that. I don't want to confuse you by logging in and then looking at it, but I'll take a look about the Izenda. Okay, great. So I owe you, as usual, the configuration, talking about by plant, down to the street level for Jerry and Erica, and then the Izenda question, making sure for these, if it goes down to the time, if that's something that we're going to be providing. So do we have any other questions or comments? Oh, and then the VIP list, I think Mark had asked about that as well. Mark or Jerry had asked about that.
Yes.
Okay. So
I can't think of anything I have on my end right now. Jerry, Erica, Jackie?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
I'm good. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, this is real helpful.
I do apologize that I missed the email, and Mark, you know the drill. If I miss something, definitely don't wait more than a day or two. I do apologize.
That's all right.
When I'm wearing my Paul Zanata hat, you definitely want to call me. You know, when Paul's on vacation, I get a little overwhelmed. So, all right. So
it's going to come up to you when you get ready to close out. I think it's going to come up to you about saving the recorded session, isn't it? Doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I should probably do that while you're on the phone, is what you're telling me?